Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about some of the things or major mistakes that we make when we when the news is released and suddenly we get into the FOMO and we want to enter the trade right away, and then we end up with losses because the we might have entered the trade at a very high, or yeah, and then the drawback is so much that we cannot take it anymore. All kinds of things happen at that point. So in those kind of situations, what do you do? And the this is what happened yesterday when Trump came out and said he's going to put tariffs on hold for 90 days, and suddenly this is Nasdaq, and it just jumped. I mean, it looks not much here, but the jump was almost 1,000 points, which is insane, or over 1,000 points just here. It was almost a couple of thousand. So how do you do anything like this? What do you do in a situation like this? One of the things to do is to actually, as soon as, because you don't know when this news comes out, but you do hear it as soon as it goes out, and then what you do is you immediately put the volume weighted average price indicator on top of the candle that actually got triggered after the news. Put it on it and then wait for it. This is a 2 minute chart. You can use it on 1 minute or higher, but because the news, after the news, it goes up so much, I prefer it to be 1 minute or 2 minute charts. But I prefer 2 minutes, but it's up to you what you want to use. The smaller the better, because your losses will be smaller. Your stop losses will be smaller. So anyway, so you put the indicator on top of the candle that actually triggered it, and then you wait for the price action to go well above and then return back to the actual indicator, the actual line, volume weighted average price line. Once it returns it, either you enter it there or you wait for some kind of a reaction. Like in this case, this is a reaction, but from in my mind, it's already back here, and I'm not sure it might return or go down. So I just didn't take that one. But it came back, and both of these I would take it. Whether it was here, whether it was there. If it returned, I would immediately enter, and I would put my stop loss underneath this and then write this. And the same thing, and then I would not enter anywhere here. I would wait for it to come back to this location. So that's my entire strategy. So you can see how a lot more clear on this one, how this works. So now you can say, oh yeah, this happened once, it went up. So let me show you a place where, I'm sorry about that. One of the other things to do is to actually say, hey, what happens when the price goes down. So I want to show you an example of that. Let me show you. To this morning, what happened was the CPI news came out, and it came out at 8:30 Eastern. So that was here. Okay. So if you look at it here, you can again see it. It bounced. I didn't do anything. It came back. Whether I could have entered it here, but then there was such a massive bounce here. I just didn't do anything. I let it go to the other side, And then once it returned here, I could have taken it here, but it never broke this point, so I just didn't do anything there. I wasn't sure which way it's going to behave. So it went back up, and then the line that you should be really looking at is this orange line. And then so I took it here, I entered it here, and then that I just took till this point. So I don't know, some 30 points or something like that I took. And then I looked at entering here, but I got some calls, so I just had to take those. I'm at work, so I just didn't do anything there. But this is something again you could do. You enter underneath here, or as it entering, as it retrieving back to the line, you could enter it here, and I put my stop loss there. So that's how you would do it. I would not enter um, anywhere here, primarily because you don't know if it's going to go up, go down further, or it's going to bounce back, because it bounced once here. So I wouldn't even do that. And the same thing here, it came back. So now I would take the entry here. So as you can see, this is the live market. It's actually reacting here. So that's how I trade. And just to let you know, this indicator is primarily it's all volume weighted average price, but this takes the I just did it this way, um, where the orange line is the close of the candle, the green one is the high, and the red one is the low. I just wrote a small script that an indicator that actually does all three in one. But you can just put three indicators and on the same candle, and then it does the same job. So you don't need what I did. It is something, it kind of gives me, if it is like really strong, um, if it's a really strong trend, then what happens is it reacts at these lines, at the extreme lines. So that's why I just put it like here. It was such a strong trend. The downward trend was so strong, it kind of it reacted at this line, and then, went down. So that's the only reason why I put it there. But this is overall strategy, and hope this helps. And this kind of helps me to control my losses and not FOMO into something and then take massive drawdowns. Um, God knows, I've done that so many times. I use this now. This is especially on the news days. Okay. Hope this helps. Thank you.